September 26, 2022, a few months after the start of Russia's aggression against Ukraine, 3 of the 4 lines of the functioning Nord Stream pipeline, designed to transport natural gas from Russia to Germany, were destroyed at a depth of about 80 meters at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. The construction agreement was concluded without the involvement of transit countries, such as Poland. One of the suspects in the Nord Stream bombing is 49-year-old Volodymyr Z, who lived in Poland. The man claims he had nothing to do with the attack. Volodymyr Z was arrested on September 30th by decision of the district court in Warsaw. He has been held in the remand center since October 1st. On October 6th, the court extended his detention until November 9th, reducing its length from the requested 100 days to 40. The prosecutor requested an extension of the pre-trial detention for a period of 100 days, but the court decided to extend the pre-trial detention for 40 days. The most important decision in this case will be made on Friday at 11 a.m. before the court in Warsaw. Tomorrow, the court will hear Germany's request for the extradition of Mr. Volodymyr for the first time. At this stage, anything is possible. An important factor is the decisions that are made at the political level. As soon as the opposition proposed the so-called amnesty bill, the case of Volodymyr Z suddenly accelerated. The provisions are intended to protect Poles who decide to join the fight on the side of Ukraine against the Russian invasion, but without the consent of the Polish authorities. Last week, it was proposed that the amnesty should cover not only Polish citizens, but everyone. Paweł Jabłoński from Law and Justice spoke about this yesterday. If it weren't for political actions, if they hadn't blocked the committee, there would be a ban on extradition, but they deliberately stopped it today. Tomorrow, a subcommittee was to meet on this matter. Suddenly, this committee is cancelled, and on Friday, he will have an extradition trial. The Polish Sejm's Defense and Justice Committees referred the bill for further work. The issue was to be discussed at today's joint subcommittee meeting. However, for unexplained reasons, the meeting was canceled. Donald Tusk is trying to relinquish political responsibility and shift the burden of this case onto the justice system. This is, of course, a court decision. As you know, there is a European arrest warrant issued by Germany, and this is a decision of the Polish court. But our position has not changed in the interests of Poland and in the interests of common decency and justice. It is certainly not to accuse or hand over this citizen to another country. The case has international significance. It will either end in favor of the enemies of Russian imperialism or in favor of Germany. The detention of a Ukrainian citizen accused by the German authorities of destroying the Nord Stream pipelines was also commented on by the head of the Polish National Security Bureau, Professor Sławomir Cęckiewicz, in an interview with the Financial Times. If Germany is prosecuting someone who destroyed a source of income for the Russian war machine, then the conflict of interest between Poland and Germany is clear, especially in terms of how they perceive the reality after the Russian invasion in 2022, said Cęckiewicz. In the context of tomorrow's trial of Volodymyr Z before the Warsaw court, the information provided by the Italian media is sensational. The Italian Supreme Court has rejected the request to extradite the Ukrainian to Germany. This concerns a second Ukrainian citizen, Serhii K., who was arrested in Italy in August, also on suspicion of blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. This shows which country is exercising its sovereignty and is able to stand up to Germany. It is worth noting that Germany is demanding the extradition of suspects, not perpetrators, regardless of who destroyed the infrastructure. The Russian war machine has lost an important source of financial support. The agreement between Germany and Russia was contrary to the interests of many European Union countries and also to what is important for Poland. In this way, Germany unfairly gained a huge advantage over other European economies, using the European market for a kind of conquest to dominate it with German production, which, thanks to cheap energy supplies from Russia, was not to have any effective competition. In turn, Russia gained the ability to use energy as blackmail, which destabilized European markets when the war broke out in Ukraine. Gazprom treated its customers unfairly, and Nord Stream 2 gave it even greater influence in the heart of Europe. This influence also extended to Germany, as the country painfully discovered during the energy crisis, when the Russians also turned off the gas tap to Germany, and the whole of Europe suffered the consequences of its tragic dependence on Russian gas. Russia accused the United States and Ukraine of organizing the attack, which both the US and Ukraine denied. So far, it has not been proven that either of these countries had a hand in the incident. Only Germany and Russia maintain this narrative.